Greetings! My second book of my Love and Sin series has dropped today, so it is live, so check out down below in the descriptions. I have a link for my author page, which has my books on there, and I don't know what this motion is, but it's a motion of excitement. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about my second book, and why I wrote it, and what it's about, and all that jazz. So first, I'm going to talk about my first book, and that is called Satirus by me, Kira Joel, and it follows a young woman named Andy Connor. And Andy Connor is stuck. She lives that life that's kind of like meh. And I feel like a lot of us live lives that are kind of like meh. We're like paycheck to paycheck. We might be at a dead-end job. Maybe we didn't finish college or didn't go, or we went to college and didn't do anything for us. Maybe we're a little out of shape, or maybe our house is kind of messy, or whatever's going on. Maybe we want a meaningful career, and we don't know how to do it. That's how Miss Andy is feeling. On top of that, she has some issues with her faith going on. She goes to a church called Northern Lit Church that she's been to since she was an embryo. And the only reason she goes is because she feels obligated to do so. Her grandma was a founding member and was like, hey, you better go every Sunday or you're going to end up like your parents who are in prison. And so she goes, but doesn't pay attention to the sermons because her old minister was very fire and brimstone and just made her feel like a bag of sin. So when the new pastor comes along, she doesn't pay attention because she's like, nobody needs to hear someone yelling at you about how much God's mad at you for sinning. So she's not really that aware of him until one day he shows up at her work to buy a phone for his mom. Because that's why he's there. And she realizes, like, hot damn. There's a little bit of chemistry going on there, or a lot of bit of chemistry. But she realizes that he's married and he's a pastor, so she's like, not gonna fall for that. Just gonna keep my distance. And then they keep running into each other, and he's kind of sketchy sometimes. Like, he does stuff where she's like, I don't know, and she talks to her best friend about it, and he's like, yeah, stay away from that dude. So she does. And then later on, this opportunity comes up that could change her life, that could actually let her get unstuck, that could let her be the person she wants to be. But it could also just tear her life apart and be horrible. So she has to figure out, like, do I do this thing, or do I not do the thing? I don't know. So that's, obviously other things happen beyond that. But that is Andy's book. And so the second book, called Demon, follows Pastor Michael and his point of view and how he sees this. So the reason why I wanted to do this book was he was super in my head. Like, I finished Satirus and I was just like, this guy is just like, he became a lot more interesting than I thought he would be. He just super, like, grew on me, and I couldn't stop. Like, he had stuff to say, and he does come across as kind of a dickbag a lot of the times, and, like, even like, there's a lot of good stuff he does, but he does have his dark parts, and I wanted to address that and explain, like, his thoughts behind some of that stuff, and also have him realize that he did stuff that was wrong, because I don't want to romanticize abuse. I know there's a lot of books that can do that, especially I feel like if you have, like, a kinkier side where maybe some of that stuff just maybe you like them bad boys and that stuff just does it for you, even though it's not the best for you. I did want to explain that even he knew that some of his behaviors were wrong. Because like they say for 50 Shades of Grey, if Christian was like a middle-aged guy who lived in a trailer park, it would be an episode of Criminal Minds and not a sexy romance. So I definitely, I wanted to address that. I didn't want people to be like, ooh, if a guy is like pushing boundaries, that's hot, because it's not okay. So yeah, I wanted to get into that. And so Michael's book runs the same timeline as Andy's, but also before and after. So we get to see how he runs his church, and so we get to get a glimpse into his faith life and how in some ways he has really strong, stupendous faith, and he's actually very close to God, even though some of the things he does you would think that he's not. And then you also get to see the things that he really struggles with in his faith as well. And then, like I said, it runs after as well. So Satyrs, I would say it wraps up. But there are some unanswered questions at the end, because there's an epilogue as well. And so you're kind of like, how do we get from there to the epilogue? And so the end of Michael's book kind of explains a little bit about that, and you get to see how all the characters kind of grow and come back together in a way. And yeah. And another thing about this book is, I don't know if I was necessarily inspired, but I know there's other authors who have done this, where they will write the same events from a different character's point of view, which, like, I think 50 Shades of Grey did that, the author, and, like, Twilight. So I'm like, people, like, love to hate those books, and some people love to love them. And so I'm like, should I be taking, like, not that I took it, like, but I don't know. So it's been done before, obviously, but I really wanted to get more into his head and to know more of what he was thinking. And I did want to put in a lot more in there, so it wasn't just basically copying everything from the first book just from Michael's point of view. I do definitely add in a lot of new scenes of things he experiences. I also wanted to show how he relates to some of the other characters. So there's some people that Andy might see as basically villainous, or very cold, or be like, why does Michael even have these people in his life? And to see these people from his point of view and how he cares about them and how he loves them, and to see some of the fun banter that he might have with them, and some of the lightness that you would not expect. So it was definitely very fun to write. It was a trip. It was also challenging to make sure to work within the confines of what happened in Andy's book to make sure that everything lined up okay. So that was interesting. I'm currently working on my third book, which is from V's point of view, but not repeating the same event. It's going to be just like right after the epilogue of the first two books. So I'm in my editing process before I ship it off to my editor, and then it'll be up. And then even my fourth book I'm starting right now. We're not starting. It's in the works. So there is more to come, but I just wanted to talk about that book and how I'm excited, and I hope you check it out. If you leave me a review, a unicorn will get another horn, and become a bicorn, and that's really special. And please, I've never asked this before, I should like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, because doesn't everyone love to listen to some random person ramble about things they don't know a lot about? I think they do. All right. You have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you next time.